Yes, Donna Guardino, this is me. I came to Portland years and years ago. My gallery's been there for 25 years. Well, more than 25 years now. I want to explain that I have come from a printmaking background. My husband graduated with a master's in printmaking from San Francisco State, and I got a heavy dose of printmaking, and my first date with him was, let's go to our friend's house to their basement and let's print some prints. And I thought, I don't know anything about this. But I always joke that he tested me out. Like, could I pick up the concept of, putting the paper on right, and so after that we were immediately together, and he basically taught me a lot about printmaking. I went to art school, studied printmaking, hated it. I don't know what it was about going to a university. It wasn't appealing to me at all.
What university did you go to?
Southern Illinois University.
Oh.
I studied painting mainly. But it wasn't until I met Sal that I started being a printmaker for serious. And we both made prints for a living for years and years and years. I think it wasn't until we came up here that we did not make prints to make money from. But I had two kids, two stepkids, and it was a matter of survival. How am I going to make these prints? How am I going to stay alive? Our first press was a Japanese model from Flax in San Francisco, 1970, and it was a cast iron baby. I guess Gail's using it now, but it's about that big at the bed, and that press has just lasted for 100 years. And then we then got a grant for a big Griffin press. So between the two of them, he built 3 litho presses out of wood, which I incidentally met someone who actually knows you, maybe?
I have one of them.
You have one of them?
Yeah.
Wooden litho press?
Yeah. What
The
year?
Sal made.
Made by Sal.
Yeah, it's cute. He made 3 of them at the time. And it works. Yeah, I can't even remember who I gave it to at the time when we came up.
Well, who's my mentor?
Chris.
Chris, thank you. Chris,
Sorry.
It's probably been passed around a couple times.
Chris had it, and then Molly, another Molly had it. She's a painter. She had it for a while, and then I ended up with it.
It's a pretty press.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's really
pretty.
awesome.
The fact that it works always surprised me. But I have to say that litho was not my cup of tea at all. And I liked intaglio, and that's what I did primarily. A lot of multicolored plates, and I started out making small things and then big things. Multi-plated, a lot of embossing, a lot of experimentation way back when. At any rate, that is kind of my background, and then we came to Portland, and the initial idea was to open a gallery that also showed our work and gave me a spot where we could have a studio. But I found that having a gallery for other people, it didn't allow me any time to do my own art. And I have to say, from 1997 and on, I have not done any art. And I don't miss it, which is a shock to me. I mean, 80 years old, maybe that's why I don't miss it. But it was one of those things where I just slid into being a gallery owner. In Sonoma, California, we started a nonprofit and have actually been involved. I've been involved in starting 2 nonprofits, one on Alberta Street and one in California. But anyway, I started the gallery, which is primarily my business. And my husband and I ran it for a long, long time. He's since died, and I panicked at first thinking, how am I going to keep this alive? And then I realized I was doing the work anyway, so it worked out just fine. As far as approaching a gallery, boy, I have a lot of thoughts about that one. Right off the bat, please, if you do this, stop it. And that is, if you have your work on a cell phone, do not stick it in the gallery owner's face and say, look at this. Because that is just the worst time. I mean, you do yourself a disservice. First of all, it's on a little bitty screen. And secondly, there's just something about it that turns me off. If you want to show me art, set up an appointment. You can come and show me the art. But showing me a picture on a cell phone drives me crazy. And I can't tell you how many times a month somebody will walk in and want to show me art on a cell phone. Don't do it. Because I've talked to other people, other gallery, and it's not good. Did I get that through to
I
everybody?
agree. It does a disservice to also you and also
Yes.
the artist.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, it's a little picture. I mean,
So it's a mark against you, because not only are they shoving their phone in your face, but they're making you wait while they go through all the pictures to dial.
Right, that's the best.
that's true too.
Let's go, let's go.
Oh, we have a little dance music. So how I work the gallery is once every summer from, well, it's turning out to be May now until the end of August, I look at art. And it's easy enough to call me up and say, I want to show you some art. I say it's easy, but I've had COVID. So I have not been seeing people. Gail's been great in seeing people for me, taking videos and things like that. But it's this year has been awkward because of that. But usually we set up an appointment, people come in, and they bring the artwork so that I can pick it up, I can look at it, I can talk to them about what it is, you know, like how do you frame it, how do you present it, you know, what do you want to do? It's important in a lot of ways, and so I don't know if this is something that you guys know already, but for me it's really easy. I really have to see the art. If it's ceramic, I want to pick it up, I want to touch it, I want to turn it upside down. If it's a print or a painting, I want to turn it around so I can see how they primed the thing. And you know, I'm looking for technique. I'm also looking for something that makes me get excited about the person. Does this make sense to you? Mm-hmm. And that's important for me. Not every gallery works this way. I once did a lecture at Oregon School of Arts and Crafts, and I was on one side of the table. There were four of us. In between was somebody who oversaw a nonprofit gallery, and then somebody who was an editor of a magazine. And then on the other side was another commercial gallery like myself. And the person on that end, the commercial gallery, made a statement to me that just, it appalled me, and that was, I don't want to see any real art. I want to see you come in with send me a packet, and the packet has to have, you know, the resume, your statement, you know, your slides, all out there, and every single piece of paper had to have your name, you know, your contact, every single piece of paper, even on the CD or whatever you were presenting. To me, it was just one step beyond really knowing who that artist is, and sometimes I'm prejudiced enough to really respond to people that I like, you know? If I'm sitting and talking to someone and they are assholes to me, that's it, you know? And believe me, I have met a few people who, just, I said the wrong thing, like found objects, and they flipped out at me, and it's not found, I searched for this piece, and it's really important to me, and it's like, whoa. So that is another reason that I want a one-on-one meeting, because you get to know somebody by just sitting and talking to them, talking about their art, talking about what they're doing, how they approach art. And so that's kind of one of the steps too, is to know, to get that one step closer to who I'm talking to, the person, the human being. For me, I want to see it in person. Like I said, I want to see the other side of the paper. I want to see how messy they are. I want to see, there's a lot of stuff you could, if you just look at the real thing. Sometimes I'll look at some paintings, they will look really good in a image, but I can see the white canvas. Something about seeing a white canvas, the whole painting not being fully painted bothers me too. So these things, I eliminate a lot of people by my response to them. And I don't mean you come in and just are the friendliest person in the world. I mean, you're all looking at me like But it is important that I get a feeling for the artist. Can I work with this person? And I mean, it is working with a person. It is, if I give a person a show, I need to know that they will give me a resume, or that they will give me a statement, that they will give me things on time. And strangely enough, a lot of seeing a person in person in the gallery is finding out how well they follow rules. And that's a biggie. I mean, if right off the bat someone comes in and brings me 2 pieces, and I say on the phone ahead of time, at least 4 pieces. So I do not want your whole studio, but at least give me an idea what kind of art you do. So that's important to me. Now, if you're showing a print portfolio, I'm fine with people bringing in a portfolio. I can look at the portfolio. It doesn't have to be framed or matted. But I also like to know how you present it, how you are going to frame it and present a show. I talked to someone today who did digital art, and I said, well, how are you framing these? And she says, oh, I just put double stick tape and stick it on the wall. It's not really what I do. That I want someone to come in and love that piece, be able to go home and hang it on the wall. Put your screw or your nail in and hang it on the wall. I do not want someone to have to double stick it to the wall. I don't know
Spray adhesive.
Huh?
Spray adhesive.
The refrigerator.
The refrigerator magnets, yeah. I have had people who don't frame. I'm perfectly okay if it's a giant piece, it's the only way to present it or something. But those things are important to me, how someone presents it to me. I give a person a show, and I set a date, and one of the things that there's a timeline, like when I want this, when I want that. And you get, for me, you get a contract that is a general contract, like, we agree upon this agreement that we're going to give you a show, blah, blah. But also I give you a timeline, is another sheet of paper. The timeline has when the photographs are due, when you're supposed to be there, everything, the percentage, everything's in that timeline. And those things are important too. And I don't know how to say this, but it's important that people read these things. I find that sometimes I'm frustrated because, an example is this. Somebody came in and they showed me some artwork, which was really great. And then I email them back and say, yes, you have a show at such and such a time. And then we have the show, so I say, we're going to hang your show Wednesday at 11 o'clock. And then I get an answer to that particular email, because I could see it at the bottom. The question is, when do we hang? So it's not that funny, but it happens to me all the time. It's like, did you just read what I just emailed you? That, we're gonna hang at this time, and yet you still ask me, when are we going to hang? So these are important, that you read the things.
The thing about that is, if you don't show up on time, Donna has a tight ship. We flip those 2 rooms in just a few
Really fast.
days. So most galleries take a week or 2. We take 3 days. So when an artist doesn't show up at 11, we're looking at our clock going, oh my God, this is no good, because it makes us work longer. And then other artists are waiting on that artist, and we need to put the wall stuff up before the sculptures. There's a whole thing. If you don't show up on time, it really throws the entire.
So I really ask that people follow the rules. And if I set the rules, those are my rules. That's not another gallery's rules, but it's how I operate. Because we do turnover, and it's not 3 days, it's 2 days.
Yeah, it's 2 days. It is actually 2 days. One day to take down, put up. The next day to take down and put up.
Because I have 2 galleries that I work every single month, unless I have a group show, which Day of the Dead is coming up, and it is a big show. But I have 3 group shows a year. The first one is the toy show, which I finally snuck into the schedule, and I love it.
That's great.
Huh?
Really good.
That was
The
an
toy show.
amazing show.
Yeah.
It is an amazing.
So sculptural. I couldn't believe how sculptural it was this year.
I know.
Or interactive toys.
Actually, Day of the Dead is coming up, and Matt Burlingame is somebody I had. He was in the middle of the room.
Matt Burlingame, tell him who he is.
Oh, he works for Leica.
He's a
And-
model builder.
He's a model builder, and his stuff is just amazing.
It's
And he
astounding.
just sent me a photograph of this whirligig boxer who was punching a ghost.
Nice.
And the gloves aren't hitting the ghost. It's
No,
just,
they're
the
just-
arms are flying, and there's this ghost just looking at him. It's pretty good.
But the toy show is fun for me. I really always wanted to do this show. And the next show is the Day of the Dead. And then the final show is the Little Things at Christmas. And that's work that's 7 inches and under.
So your Day of the Dead show happens in the month of October, from October
It-
1 through
Yeah, well, it goes the month of October because it precedes Day of the Dead.
precedes.
I used to include the date of Day of the Dead, so it used to go through November. The problem is, as soon as it's over, that's it. They're on to Christmas or Thanksgiving or something. So I had to kind of alter when I did these shows.
It starts in September is what you mean. It starts in the last week of September, runs through October, but
All
doesn't
of
make
October.
it to Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, 'cause
It comes
people are
down.
already on like a Thanksgiving, Christmas vibe.
Right.
And the Little Things at Christmas time is a big show. There's usually about 50 artists or so in that show.
So how do you handle the call for artists kind of thing?
You approach me during the summertime. You
And
just
is
say, I want to
email
make
the
it
best, is email the best way?
No, call me up.
Okay.
Because I'll always ask for a verbal, like, when are you available? Okay, we can meet this, we can meet that.
And like Donna says, every gallerist is different.
Oh, God, yes.
Donna loves phone calls. Other gallerists are like, don't call me on the phone.
And it's usually on their website.
It's going to be an email, and somebody's going to filter those, and then I might talk to you. Donna's
Yeah,
different.
every email, every website has how do you approach the artist.
Yeah, but I don't.
You don't?
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't
Maybe you
know.
should have
Maybe we
that.
should, yeah.
Yeah. We can add
I
it.
like this talk,
But
yeah.
I already have enough people that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh God, just give me a break.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how I operate. Is there questions? Yes.
So it sounds like you base the decision on whether or not you want to work someone based on the work and how
Work
the person
first.
carries themselves.
Yes, and how I respond to them.
So,
Because sometimes people will be really assholes,
mhm.
and I realize I can't work with them.
Does how they self-promote figure into your calculus on whether or not you
No,
work?
it's basically, I'm gonna be promoting them. As long as they're there for that month, I am promoting them.
She doesn't care if they have really great online presence. She wants to see who you are, what kind of person you are, and
You know, as far as my promotion goes, is I will post on Facebook and Instagram almost daily, and so I'm always posting something about this is this person, this is who it is, and give you information about it. So yeah, that's part of it.
And do you do your own posting, or do you have minions who do that for you?
Gail's been doing it since I've been.
She usually does
I
it.
usually do it.
she does it usually.
I also, what I do besides make a card, a physical card, every month, is I usually have about maybe 500 to 1,000 cards I print every single month. I also make an e-invite, and so with a group show there will be a general, this is the Day of the Dead kind of general. But then I will, and I gotta teach Gail to do this, is then I will make a special e-invite for, how many people, 40?
Yeah, 40 something
40
plus.
something.
And those
So-
are your collectors?
No, every 40 person.
Every, like the group shows of 40.
The 47 or whoever, how many people are in a show, every single person then gets its own e-invite. And that is something they can post on, and it's a JPEG, and they can post it on Instagram or Facebook. But this is what I do for them. Plus, when the show is up, I will start posting about, okay, this is the picture of this person is doing that. Do you think that's all?
Yeah. Well, then you just broadcast on Facebook and Instagram.
All
She
the
does
time.
MailChimp. She does.
Oh yeah, MailChimp, I forgot that one.
Sometimes the Star will.
I have about maybe 3,700 people that I mail MailChimp.
I think 5,000.
Really?
Do you mail postcards anywhere? Snail
No.
mail?
I do, but very, very rarely. What happens is I will make those cards, and it's your responsibility as an artist.
So you'll make that available, if they have a big mailing list, they can order up 500 and send it off to
They
them.
can send it off if they want, but I'm not going to spend a stamp. Sometimes I will spend stamps on people that I know should get it, but for the most part, no. Yes.
Have like a communication with other galleries on Alberta? Like, do you guys talk to each other about?
We talk to each
shows
other,
and-
but it's not a professional, we just haven't done it. I mean,
Yeah.
way back when Onda was at the end of the show, I mean, I talked to Alan, who had Onda every other day. But it's changed a lot. I mean, there were a lot more galleries. It was a different situation back then. There was an arts organization that we started, a nonprofit, and we communicated constantly. Since then, I don't know if I'm just getting old, which could maybe happen, or whatever it is, but yeah, it's not that way anymore.
It seems on our block like we're all so busy in our own shops that we don't even get across the street to talk to. So we don't have that personal relationship, but they do come and see Donna. They come over and see us sometimes.
Well, there's that, and that's, like Abner and Talon.
They come by.
Friends with those people. I mean, there are people that I'm really close with, but for the most part, maybe not.
Cause there's like a first Thursday.
Last Thursday.
Last Thursday.
That's the other thing. There's always a last Thursday, and there has been a last Thursday on Alberta since it started in 1997.
And you started it.
Wow.
May 1997.
Woo!
Yeah, every last Thursday.
Everybody forgets, but Donna was the starter of
I'm
that.
supposed to say that to people, but
Sounds good.
yes.
What did you say the Little Things show? There's 7 inches in small?
It's 7 by 7.
7 by 7 by
And that
7.
includes the frame, the stand, And it's just not wall stuff. It is it's ceramic, it's wood, it's whatever. And there's probably about 50 odd people who are in there, and I'm just now firming up the list. So if you're anywhere interested in being a little thing artist, contact me immediately.
And that's for December?
Yeah.
That's for December. Well,
No,
actually,
Black-
it's the day after Thanksgiving.
Black Friday. We have, yeah. So right now you want to talk to Donna immediately.
Well,
and-
you've got to do it sooner
Yeah.
than that because I'm going to Paris.
In on September 4th, and we also have to flip the shows this next week. So you got, if you want her to run it under her nose, hurry.
Wow.
And all you have to do is
I've got
call
a
me
book
and
for
say
you.
you
I
want
can
to.
grab it right now.
Where are you going to go in Paris?
Paris. It's the 7th district. My son has an ex-girlfriend who has a 3-bedroom apartment, and that's where I'm going.
Wow.
We're
What are you
gonna
going
go-
to see when you're there? Have you made a
Well,
list
we've
yet?
already gone to the Louvre. We have a little excursion down the Seine. We talked a lot about it, and I think we just want to go sit in a cafe.
Please.
You know, enjoy. You know, there's all kinds of places to go in Paris. I'll probably find out about them seriously at some point. But
Have you watched Midnight in Paris?
I think I have.
It's
Oh, it's a great one.
it's really good. I just watched it last night again.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Watch it before you go.
Yeah.
What is it? Tell me.
Well, at midnight he catches a cab and they kind of go back in time, and it's like all the awesome artists, like all the
Yes.
Gertrude Stein and
Mostly poets
Toulouse-Lautrec.
and writers.
poets and
Really
writers.
good stuff, yeah.
I don't think I have.
And it's Owen Wilson, so it's kind of like
That would
fun.
be
Oh well, Galen's coming. You'll have to rent it. He's
Yeah.
coming.
My son is the one that I'm going to Paris with. He is he's a animator. He does special effects for movies.
Well, have you seen Amélie? That's probably
Oh
the
yes,
best.
oh, yes, of course I've seen that.
And what month is the toy show?
The toy show is the month of July, and I love that show for some. I don't know why I put it off. I've had a print show, which I love, but I can't do too many group shows. They wear me out.
Dealing with that many artists is just herding cats. Is
By
a challenge.
when Little Things is over, we're tired because you have to chase artists, and January is like we're like, oh, we need a break. We need something easy.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So there was a tradition in Portland that evolved around the time that Frolic Adelhard started, and there's this tradition that's probably about the time you landed in Portland too, when there was just an emphasis and a celebration of craftsmanship
Yeah.
and an appreciation among the gallerists of
Yeah.
craftsmanship
Of course.
that I think pervaded the 90s and the 2000s, and then I'm not sure if it's gone by the wayside, but I think in Portland there still is an emphasis on craftsmanship, and how have you cultivated that? Because I think that you have.
There is a difference.
And why?
Well, first of all, for quite a while, I did the American Craft Council shows, the ACC shows. I was doing handmade paper structures. It's not a sheet, and I didn't pull a sheet of paper. I worked on a vacuum table. It's a long, involved process. But I did ACC for about 7 years. And when you're surrounded by that much good craft, it impresses the hell out of you. I'm also from the Bay Area. So I had access to a lot of really good galleries back then, and I knew a lot of the gallery owners. And then there was the group in Sonoma that we founded, Arts Guild of Sonoma, and also a big craft. But having seen a lot of craft, I have a great appreciation for it. It's the same thing with an etching or whatever. It has to be well done as well. That doesn't mean that you have to be the best, but there has to be some spark there that I'm attracted to. I'm not saying everything I show is just the best of the best of the best, but given the people I see, given a whole year's worth of scheduling, I try to get as much variety and as much quality as I possibly can. Yes.
For the group shows, do you usually need to see more examples of the artist's work, or for group you just want to see that piece that would be?
No, it's not that piece. For all of them, I take multiples. The way I work with Little Things is I give people a little block, and I'll say, this is this person's little block, and so I will promise to hang maybe 6 pieces, maybe more. But I always ask for people to bring me more, because the concept behind the one in December is basically you buy it, you can walk out with it.
Right.
That's not how I operate as a rule. Usually it's a red dot until the end of the show. And that's same thing with the toy show, same thing with Day of the Dead.
Okay.
But it's Christmas.
So to give you an example, we have 50 artists and a minimum of 6. Some artists bring up to 40 pieces.
Oh, and sometimes they sell them all.
And all of them, yeah. So it is an exhausting. Every morning we come in, we have to fill the gaps. We pull things out of drawers. We rearrange the 3-dimensional stuff. It is just a
I'm sure she
grueling.
just bitches at me all the time.
Oh no, we just make it through. We just make it through.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how I do Little Things. On the other hand, the Day of the Dead is coming up. It must have 40 something.
So far, like 43,
Yeah.
44.
And that'll be one of those shows where it'll be red dotted.
Unless it's in the print bin.
Well, Gail made these wonderful little skeletons. Have you seen them? Mm-hmm.
Well, my laser failed and I only have 3. And
You'd better get to work, Gail.
What was the ACC, American Craft?
American Craft Council shows.
Oh.
They're all over San Francisco, Baltimore, Chicago. They're all over the place. I don't know how many there are now, but back then I think there were a possibility of 3 or 4 that you could choose from. I actually, after a while, I just couldn't do it anymore because I did the show in Baltimore, and there were 900 booths, and it was just too many. It was crazy. You've seen that one before? 900 booths.
900.
What would happen is people would walk by like zombies.
Yeah,
They can't see all that.
that's too many.
But, you know, the ACC organization was bringing in a lot of money.
Right.
So, I don't know. So I'm not doing that stuff anymore. Yes.
How is the gallery business these days, post-COVID and all that?
Pretty
Is it-
good.
Yeah.
I mean, we were smart. Gail was smart. She forced me into Shopify, which means I am now online. Everything can be purchased clear across the country online. And it has helped considerably.
How big of a percentage of those art sales that you make are from your Shopify?
well, you mean the thing is
You mean
that
from that are out of the state, you're saying?
Well, how big of a percentage of your art sales? Like, do you sell 50% of your art to locals who walk into your shop and 50% to...
we sell quite a bit of local buying online
Yeah.
because we have bidding wars and they've been waiting. So they don't have to come across town to buy this stuff. They get online. We have people waiting
That's
for
right.
us.
They buy and then they'll come and pick it up later.
Yeah.
Bidding wars.
Yeah.
How do you
Oh
rate
man.
that?
I mean, we tell people if you want this, you better get on before Black Friday. We'll turn the shop on this. We turn the shop on for some of these group shows. It's unbelievable. I'm like, oh my God, we haven't even got this stuff delivered. I hope they deliver. We just sold it. So Donna likes it when she makes money in her sleep. I'm like, hey,
Oh, I
Donna. She loves it.
No, the gallery business has been pretty good.
For her, she actually during COVID when we launched the site, you made record sales and we had no pedestrians walking by.
Right. Oh, they didn't come in. It
Because
was like,
people wanted to see what she was doing and they were buying online locally and coming and picking up.
Wow.
And it got pretty weird because there would be people who would pick up and they would stand outside the door in the rain and I would like push the thing out. Because they were so worried about COVID.
Yeah, but we got it. We got the art out.
I managed to escape COVID for the whole, except for
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
This is Donna's first big gig. She's been recovering.
Wow.
I've been really, really weak,
Thank
which
you
is
for-
why
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Sharing it all.
yeah, this is going to Paris with me.
Of course it is. You got your own chair at the galleries.
Well, not only that, but I want to tell you that if you got to get on a plane with a walker, they treat you like a princess.
She's gonna work it, baby.
I'm gonna work it.
Yeah, I would if I were you.
You might
get
get
to go on first. They just like
Donna. You might. You know, it's really hard to see the Mona Lisa. You might actually get.
Oh yeah, you'll get minutes just with space.
Yeah.
Yes. Or I
Doc-
could just like get out of my way.
Yeah, I'd be like a grumpy. Get out of my way.
6 feet. Everybody give me 6 feet.
Donna's painted the Mona Lisa on one of her doors at the shop.
Oh, that long time ago. Yeah.
And it's still there.
Barely. Yeah.
It's underwhelmingly small, but you're ready for it.
Yeah. I'm ready for it. Any more questions? I'm curious. Did I talk too much already?
Oh, no, it's the perfect.
Is there a industry standard as far as a percentage that the house keeps or gallery keeps?
Everyone has their own percentage. I do 45%, but I have to say, I've been here for over 25 years, and this past year is the first year I raised it to 45. It's always been 40%, but I couldn't afford it.
Because of me.
Oh yeah,
it's because
I
of me.
paid her.
Ah.
So thank you, artists. Thanks for the extra.
Well, everyone
part.
else is 50%, I think, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it is,
Most
yeah.
Industry standard.
But I feel also that I want an artist to make a living.
I would expect
That's important to me, and that's the other thing I should say. I don't do exclusives,
That's where I should-
and that's personal experience from when I was in California of being involved in galleries that were exclusive to Sacramento or exclusive to something.
And they want their artists to be exclusive.
Exclusive.
They have a hole over their stable, and they don't want those artists to show anywhere in the region.
Well, and with Sacramento, it got hard because I was teaching in Sacramento a lot, and I had a lot of. I also hooked up with this guy, Pat Coletto, who was a very famous restaurant designer, and he did this big project in Sacramento, and Hinovitz Salmon was the gallery I was with, showed up and wanted some money from it, and I thought, no. So yeah, there's pros and cons to this whole thing. So I don't believe in doing exclusives. I do think that an artist has to make a living.
We know of an artist that Donna shows that was trapped in a contract for 5 years. They never got a show. They were hidden in the back. Never got any kind of exposure, and it really hurt him.
Who was that?
Tomasz.
Oh, Tomasz, yes. Oh yeah. But he got a big name gallery, but it didn't do him any good.
But you know what? He walked in the door, and Donna calls me, and she goes, "You're not going to believe who just walked through my door." He's really amazing. Donna gets some really, really great surprises coming through the door.
And some really bad people.
What's the mosaic story at the front of your gallery? Looks very creatively done.
It would even be better if someone weren't constantly picking off the glass. But I did all that.
You did that.
We pick up glass off the
I'm
cement
very
all the time.
crafty.
That's great.
We need to get some caulk and
So we need to
some.
fix it up. But I actually have a person coming probably sometime in the fall who is going to paint a mural on the side of the building too. So
But
you know,
but sadly, that's a portrait of you and Sal and your dog. You're covering
now,
over.
Yes, it's got to go.
Yeah.
It's falling apart over 25 years.
Mhm.
That was painted 25 years ago,
Mhm.
and it's collapsing.
When you were teaching etching?
Yeah, I was teaching etching. We had a pretty big studio in Sonoma. Actually, a very big studio. That's where I had we had the presses, the litho, and the big Griffin and the smaller press that Gail's using. We taught a lot of classes.
You also taught paper sculpture.
Oh yeah, I taught paper making, but not pulled piece of paper. A more sculptural piece of paper. It's hard to describe it. I've been an artist for a long, long time. A long time. And I have 2 boys who I thought would be artists because they were so friggin' talented. But both of them went to LA and now they make tons of money being animators and doing other things. They're still doing art, but it's they all both the boys said, "Where's my paycheck?" That's what happens.
You mean they're smart artists?
Yeah.
Where's my paycheck?
I remember coming in here and smelling ink and thinking, "Oh my God, I remember this."
Oh,
Yeah.
we try and keep the ink smells to a minimum. Like
Yeah.
what you're usually smelling with ink is the solvent.
Yes.
Trying to mitigate the solvent smells by using a lot of non-toxic processes.
Well,
But she likes the solvent. She likes solvent.
Still use
All
oil
the
based
good
ink.
creators.
Yeah, that's Donna right there. Give me that solvent.
Well, yeah, it's
That's what ruined her health was intaglio.
You should come back and make some prints sometime.
Well, what I was wondering is if you would teach some kind of special Donna etching class.
I don't even know that I could do it anymore.
The only thing she does every year is our she
I
designs.
decorate the windows.
She does. That's her thing.
I mean, this takes a lot of time. I mean, it's either you make art or you run a gallery. I know very few people who can do both.
Jill McFerrish did it for a couple of years, but she just shut her gallery down in Astoria, the secret gallery. That's gone now.
So which part did you enjoy more, like being the artist or being the gallery artist?
It's a little of both, you know. I really did enjoy being an artist. It was very creative. I know that I would work on something and then afterwards it was like, I'll never do another print ever again because this was just like it. And then later on I go, oh, I'm ready now. Let's do it all over again. But and it was a physical job too, as you well know, especially if you're wiping big plates.
Right?
But we had a pretty big studio, probably maybe this size, maybe bigger. When it had its own little acid room.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a really nice area.
In Sonoma?
In Sonoma, yeah.
And Independence, you had a print shop that was a chicken
Oh yeah,
coop.
that was even bigger. That was a gorgeous studio there.
Independence, Oregon? Oh, cool.
It's rare that a gallerist has been an artist in the past. Are there any other gallerists in Portland that you know of that who started out as an artist?
You know, I don't really know.
I think it's rare, actually, for an artist to be endowed with the gift of a business acumen that will allow them to survive as a gallerist.
Well, the other thing too is I know what it's like to be an artist. So in a lot of ways, I kind of bend over backwards for a lot of people, and I'm really good at like nurturing them on because I have been in that other place.
Donna is well known for being a good starter art gallery because if she likes you, she'll take a chance on you. And a lot of artists have gotten good contracts that are exclusive in Sacramento, and they're making a great living. So she's lost quite a few artists that say, I'm sorry, I can't show anymore because I've signed a contract. And we're like, great for you. But we've gotten artists back because the contract fell through or they closed up and they come back.
So the territories for most gallerists are
I
how
pick,
big?
I pick I don't pick cross country. I pick locally.
So, but
There are so many good artists in. I mean, I'm talking about the coast, you know, all the way to Portland, to Vancouver. But I have to be within an area.
but some gallerists in Portland are like, I have to have an exclusive on you for Oregon and Washington. Is
No,
it now
that's crazy.
California, Oregon, Washington? What's
Donna's is once your month is your contract.
Well, you're an anomaly because there aren't any other gallerists who will take on an artist for a group show
Right.
or a show, a solo show or a duo show for 1 month and then let you hit the road
We-
and do something else with your.
We don't have space like Russo Lee
Yeah.
to have a suite of someone's prints or paintings. We just don't.
But I've lost, you know, like Gabe Fernandez, for
Yeah.
instance. I've lost him because, you know, they have an exclusive now.
But she can also have a lot of his work in there. We don't have the room to have a suite of and hold someone on a contract, say, oh well, we only have this 4x4 space, and so it doesn't make sense for her to have anybody on her contract, and it gives her the ability to, you know, move stuff, you know.
So it's
out of
a
the-
little more work for you because you're constantly dealing with multitudes of
People,
artists.
yes.
It's a lot more work for you, but do you find that you're selling more work, do you think, than
I
say
think-
Froelich Gallery, who has a stable of 24 artists and that's it? And
Yeah, I knew someone who was at Froelich, and their complaint was that they had signed the contract and they stayed in the stacks. They
that
didn't
happens.
get out of the
And
stacks.
Augen is even worse,
Yes.
like threefold.
Yes.
I shouldn't say that on camera. Delete that.
Oh, well, it's the truth.
It's
on
the
record.
truth. It's kinda
And
true.
that's their business model, so we can talk about it.
You have an unusual business model, and I want to commend you for working so hard and taking into consideration the nurturing the artists and the fact
That's
that
important
artists
to
need to
me,
be
and I
nurtured.
think that comes from me being an artist.
It does.
And the years that, you know, I tried to make a living I did make a living at it. But it meant that I worked like mad.
I bet you did, and you still are.
Yeah, Donna works. She's open 6 days a week. She works 7. We just can't get away from it. It's
But
it.
now I'm-
Except for Paris.
Yes, except for Paris.
You might not want to come back once you've had that freedom.
Yeah. Have some hot chocolate.
There's a museum. There's a tiny museum dedicated to Dali, but like the hidden works of Dali in Montana.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In Sacré Coeur, where the church is, very close to there.
I should ask my son. He worked for Will Bitton way back when. He was an animator back then. And so they sent him to Paris to work on M&M commercials for the French.
Really?
So he was over there
Wow.
making French M&M commercials. So when he went over, he wanted to go to the Louvre really, really badly. And of course, it was striking. Something was going on. And a lot of people have told me when they go to Paris, sometimes the Louvre is closed. So,
There's a secret way to get in there too.
oh really?
I should tell Gail. But so when the high-end pay is where people go in.
Yeah.
But if you head towards the gardens of the Tuileries, then there's a triumphal arch there, just right there, and you can go in there to go to like the bookstore.
Underground.
And the bookstore is
But
connected to the subway.
you just walk up to the ticket stand, and you're in line instead of being on this big line.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
You
Way
can
to
cross straight
go.
from the metro too. If you take get off at the Louvre station, it opens up right at the same
And
level.
that's probably what we're gonna do too.
Yeah. It's kind of like an enter through the gift shop situation.
So if anybody has any other ideas about Paris for Donna, you can email her at.
Right.
I heard that you can get one of these museum passes, and you don't have to wait in any of the lines. You've got passes to all the. I just heard that. I don't know what it's
They do
called.
it in Mexico City too.
Yeah.
You just buy a pass.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
For the week, you can go to any.
But you might need a book online ahead of time. That helps.
A book online,
Book online.
not a book.
Never. Mama.
Okay.
Any more questions? Well, maybe no.
Maybe no.
What's your plan for the gallery? Is there
I'm gonna do it until I drop dead.
Yeah.
Until I can't do it anymore.
perfect?
Because it keeps me alive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, being 80, I should be retiring and all that kind of stuff, but I don't want it. It's a reason to get up in the morning. It's a reason to deal with people, to talk to people.
People.
Most of your friends retired 15 years ago, and they're boring.
Yes.
Well, people come in and talk to Donna about everything. She's great at art advice. She's got great friends. Everybody comes in and checks on her. Why would she want to retire?
Do you live right by the gallery?
Upstairs.
Upstairs. Do you own the building? Nice.
That was one of the smartest things we did. Because it has 4 tenants, 3 tenants in the building, and then Dar Salon is next door, and I own that property too.
And is there a basement in it as well?
Oh, yes.
That's where we're going to take you to torture you. But you have to make an appointment.
I want to go to the basement.
You don't want to go to the basement.
No. I don't even want to go to the basement.
I don't want to go to the basement.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is that where he used to do his litho?
No, the litho was actually done in the back room but the litho press actually was set up in Independence, Oregon, and it was set up in Sonoma. It got set aside when we got to Alberta Street. But the big the big etching press, the Griffin, I have to say I was in love with that press. I mean, I couldn't praise that press enough. It's got that wonderful chain action, and it just killed me to have to let it go, and that was because I developed diabetes, and my pancreas was shot from way back when. You know, not. I mean, I'm 80 years old, so we didn't have those access to those things.
You mean
back then.
gloves?
I couldn't wipe a plate. with
She
gloves.
can't stand to wipe a plate with gloves.
Me
She had-
neither.
You didn't have vacuum solvent tables, and you didn't have ventilation, and everybody used.
Although I did have a vacuum table,
But that was for
something totally
paper.
different.
Yeah, this
They
is her
turned it
vacuum
on.
table. It sucks all that solvent right out the door.
No.
That's what she misses, all that fumes.
Right.
Loves it.
Well, it screwed me up. Yes.
How long were you in Independence?
About 6 years.
What
Too
year?
long.
What years were you there?
before 97, so it'd be 1990 to 97 probably.
Something like that.
Oh.
It was a beautiful studio. It was a beautiful piece of property. It was but it was,
On the main street or?
no, it was 7 miles outside of Independence.
Oh, okay.
So what it meant was it was a beautiful area.
Farmland.
It was if I had been closer to Corvallis, maybe it would have worked.
Yeah.
But it was just far enough that people didn't come there for classes. I know that my husband was teaching through Chemeketa, which is in Salem, and we got people to come for that, but it just didn't work. We were just too far out in the boonies. Even though it was pretty and the studio was amazing.
Cool.
I know you said you like to see the real work.
Yeah.
But do you look at artists' websites as well?
I do. And that is another thing. If somebody comes and they don't have images to give me, and I always like for people to bring me some images on a thumb drive or something like that, I will write down their website and I will look at the website too. But first of all, I have to see the real thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll look at the website. Questions?
What happens if you don't have a website?
You don't have a website?
I mean, would you not be considering the artist?
No, I'm not, that doesn't, bottom line is, I have to respond to the work somehow. I have to say, oh, this is really good.
She wants you to bring a flash drive of pictures.
Yeah, flash drive with pictures would work.
I'm gonna turn it off.